Well, this role is very different from a private lawyer's role. A private lawyer makes a fair deal of money, a fair deal of fees, in a fairly comfortable position. This is a life of a different kind of commitment. If you really want to be a good lawyer for the government, and when we use the word government, we associate with it the institution of the state as an embodiment of probity and rectitude. We do not mean government, a government of men, government of, shall we say, of power-hungry individuals. No, we mean an institution for which we are seeking to represent in court. If that is the foundation of our assignment, the answers and commitment will be very different, and the commitment will be very intense. And again, you may be sometimes even looking a bit non-opaque, you may be looking opaque. You may not be always able to explain the reasons for your action, but I can tell you, it requires, again, it tests your courage, it tests your conviction. And here there's no one to instruct you or to hold your hand. You are your own self, and you have to take a call. But it is very rewarding to see that in government, and I think it's a matter of great tribute, that government recognizes the value patterns in a law officer's behavior, his conduct. It is wonderful. There can be no greater moment of celebration for a government lawyer that he is recognized for his ethical content. It's a great, great recognition.
So many of your viewers are actually law students, young lawyers, etc. Could you tell them a bit about the Office of the Solicitor General, the connections between the Office of the Solicitor General and that of the Advocate General, how it networks with the Ministry of Law and Justice, the Prime Minister's office? How do these come together?
Well, I mean, the first is the Office of the Attorney General. That's a constitutional position which is being held by my very distinguished colleague, Mr. Ghulam Vahanbati, with whom I share again a very close relationship, which is well over 30 years now. When we both met at Mr. Surabji's place, well, that's the first office, and that has essentially the role of the Attorney General is advisory, and he appears in selected important cases. The role of the Solicitor General is the second. It's not a constitutional post, but it is a post under the Advocates Act. It is the second leader of the bar, and he then again undertakes both advisory and work in court. The Attorney General has the right of precedence over all advocates. The Solicitor General has the right of precedence over other advocates, except, of course, subject to the right of the Attorney General. And the structure is formed that way. Both Attorney General and Solicitor General are really creatures of the British bar. The Attorney General there, of course, is a member of the Cabinet, and it's really the Solicitor General who appears in court and does the work in court. Here in our jurisdiction, the Law Minister and the Attorney General are not the same. There was once a move to merge the two of them, but that didn't happen. And since then, the Attorney General has always been viewed as a lawyer of independence and independent of the government. Both the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, are expected to act independently, fearlessly, and have to take positions. As if they are giving totally objective professional advice to anyone else, and they have to be strong. They have to take calls. They have to decide what they think is right, and give opinions on that basis. Now, Now we must know when we give an opinion, people completely misunderstand in the public domain that what they would like to see as an opinion is not an opinion which we are supposed to give. We are supposed to give an opinion as professional lawyers, knowing that that in the public domain it may be completely unacceptable. It's not that we are breaching public confidence, but we have to be trained to be tough, to take decisions correctly. For us, the correct decision is more important than, shall I say, a decision as it appears to the public mind. It might enhance our popularity. It may completely put an end to our profile. But that's not the basis on which we have to give opinions. We give it on the basis that we believe in what we are giving, and that's an important cornerstone in our functioning. The other is that conventions. We have to maintain certain conventions as Attorney General and Solicitor General. I'm very, very fortunate that I'm the Solicitor General with an Attorney General who cares for conventions, and we both really follow them quite meticulously. Even though our rooms are next door, but we try to see that the highest degree of respect is accorded for maintaining conventions. This is because we consciously decided that it's important to reinstate that belief amongst the younger lawyers that these offices are really meant to observe important conventions and conduct. In the Solicitor General's office, I have a photograph which is not of a lawyer but is of a judge. Very strange that in a Solicitor General's room you find the photograph of a judge. That was again the courtesy of the Nagpur Bar Association, which gifted me a copy of the portrait of Justice Vivian Bose, and a great judge, man of great character. So I hung up that photograph and then asked the Attorney General to unveil the photograph. I said that well, this is it should be a permanent lamppost for whoever is going to be in this office. He must at least be able to see Justice Bose in his eye every now and then. So the Attorney General laughed, and we said, well, so that's just a benchmark to tell you what we think should be hung, should be our own standard. We interact with the Law Ministry. We usually are approached only through the Ministry of Law and Justice, but in some important cases, if it has a bearing on national security or some other important matter, then of course the Home Secretary or the Home Minister may get directly in touch with you if it is very important and it needs immediate action. But we still would always act, keeping the Law Ministry and the Law Minister in important cases. We always keep him in the loop. We always keep him in the know, so that he knows what is going on. The Attorney General and I, we both, again, share information between ourselves, so that he knows what I'm doing, and and he's good enough to tell me what are his concerns and what are the items on his mind. This has been a very, very constructive relationship, and it's because of this relationship and this kind of synergy we've been able to do things which we could never have dreamt of. The Prime Minister's office again is sometimes gets in touch with me or the Attorney General as and when it's necessary. Then we have the additional solicitors general who are below us and who again are independent lawyers. They are colleagues really, they're senior advocates. And then we have the advocates general. The advocate general is the leader of the bar in the state, whereas in the central government it is the attorney general right down to the additional solicitor general.